Okay. Welcome everybody to Board of Education meeting time. We're glad you're all here. It's always nice to see lots of people in the audience. So with that, my dear roll call, please.
Ms. Arnold? Here. Ms. Hunt? Mr. Morrison?
Here.
Ms. Regano?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, please stand for the pledge.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Great.
Usually summertime, we kind of slow down a little bit on our presentations because the students are out, but tonight we've got a full docket in front of us, which is very exciting. And the first one that we're going to look at is our academic team recognition. And I'd like to invite Julie Cohen to our podium. Our students, we all know our students are amazing, but this young group of students have accomplished so much, and so I think they've got something in store for us with the buzzers.
Thank you. Good evening. We didn't know whether Dawn Spence was going to be able to be with us this evening, so I am honored to get to introduce both her as the coach of the academic team. She's been coaching the academic team for 3 years now, as well as the 3 of the 4 varsity team members that we were able to have with you this evening. The 4th member, Zizu, is actually with family in China for a month, but you will see pictures of him on the slideshow that the parents forums put together. So the 3 members that we have closest to me, to furthest away, Abby Cohen, who is a rising sophomore, just finished her freshman year, David Cohen, who just graduated and will be starting at the Ohio State University in the fall. Z will be starting at Carnegie Mellon. And then Hari Kramaswaran, who is the academic team captain. And just briefly, so that you understand why we felt that perhaps the board might want to recognize this team. The team this year came first in the state in the Ohio Academic Competition. That is a state-run program, and they came in first place. They competed in a different format of test questions at the national level with the National Academic Quiz Bowl Tournament, and they came in 5th place in the nation, and they brought that trophy. And then they competed at the Partnership for Academic Competition and Excellence, I believe is what it stands for, and they came in 8th place in the nation there. They competed in the History B. David came in 24th place in the nation in U.S. history, and was particularly excited because that was 2 places ahead of Hari, and that is quite unusual. So Hari came in 26th. Hari came first in Ohio overall for all history, David in 2nd in state overall for all history. The team competed in the History Bowl, came in 7th in the nation. Hari was named the All-World Player of the Year for NAQT and All Quiz Bowl questions, is going to be playing in Berlin in the All-World First Team, competed last weekend at the National All-Star Academic Tournament, and his team came in 3rd place nationally. So it is this season where these kids pulled together because Madame Spence had a gorgeous baby daughter, and really the team pulled together and ran under the guidance of Hari pretty much. So it is for that reason that we are thrilled that the board wants to recognize this team tonight. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Hari for some comments.
Good evening. Thank you all for inviting us here today. It is with great honor and pride that I stand before the Board of Education to talk about the achievements in these past 2 years of the Beavercreek academic team. Most of you are likely unaware of what the team actually does, so I'd like to go a little bit further to explain it to you. We compete in a Jeopardy-like setting, more commonly known as Quiz Bowl. In Quiz Bowl competitions, teams face off against one another by answering questions on topics such as literature, physics, math, science, history, and so on. The competitions share a similarity to Jeopardy in that they all have buzzers, as you can see. However, unlike Jeopardy questions, which mostly focus on trivia, Quiz Bowl questions focus a lot on academic material, especially stuff learned in the classroom, as well as general knowledge. The questions are structured in the form of clues, unlike Jeopardy, where it's just a single clue. But Quiz Bowl questions have multiple clues, with the harder ones appearing earlier in the question, and the easiest clues appearing at the end. Here's an example to show you. So, for a question in Jeopardy, they might ask, in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, the soothsayer gives Caesar this warning, and the player will bring in an answer, what is beware the Ides of March? So, the Jeopardy question only has one line, and it mostly focuses on a somewhat irrelevant part of the play. However, the Quiz Bowl question would be multiple lines long, and I'll read it out to you. A character in this play describes himself as constant as the North Star after he begins to repeal Cimber's banishment. A funeral speech in this play begins, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears, and mocks the title statesman's killer, Brutus. For the points, identify this Shakespeare tragedy about the death of a Roman emperor. So you see, we start out with the harder clues in the beginning, and then at the end, it's a giveaway, basically to make sure the player knows what to answer if they don't know the clues beforehand. And in every round, you're allowed to buzz in whenever you know the question. It doesn't have to be at the end. So a member of either team can buzz in at any time to answer a question. If correct, the team that then gets a set of 3 bonus parts, in which they can answer to get more points. However, if they answer the question incorrectly, they often lose points in one of the formats we played, and they lose points. And the question automatically goes to the other team. As I said before, most of the competitions we took part in followed this format. Now I'm here to mostly talk about our achievements this year. This year, our team performed one of the biggest feats in the history of any Ohio academic team. At the 2 major national competitions hosted by the National Academic Quiz Tournaments and Partnership for Academic Competition Excellence, we placed 5th and 8th, respectively. Getting to that level was obviously no walk in the park. When we started, we were just novices with only spirit to show. We are not even considered titles for any titles locally or nationally. This inspired us to make rapid improvements, allowing us to win the G-Walk and the state competition with just 2 years of experience. 3 years later, we went into the NAQT Nationals, seeded 5th, and lived up to those rankings. When we started winning tournaments, the school bought us a trophy case to house all the awards. Now we're at such a point where we won so many awards that we don't even have a trophy case to store all the awards. This just shows you how far we've come as a team. In addition to Quiz Bowl, as Ms. Cohen mentioned, the team also competes in History Bowl. History Bowl, as the name implies, is very similar to Quiz Bowl in that it only focuses on history. 3 years ago, I founded the History Bowl team along with our coach. I had already reached a level of proficiency in middle school with my quarterfinal finish in 8th grade. We have since been doing very well. One of the team's highlights last year was winning the National History Bowl Championship in the JV division. This year, we also did great, placing 7th out of approximately 160 teams. It is truly amazing that we have got to this level of proficiency in such a short time. This did not happen in a vacuum, though. There are several people who I would like to thank. I would like to give a big thanks to Madam Ellen Spence for coaching our team for the past 3 years. Madame has been the driving force behind the team back when I was a freshman, as well as convincing people who joined the team initially to stick with it. Madame, as a team, we definitely wouldn't be here without you. I would like to thank the rest of my teammates who have stuck with me throughout all of this year and last. David Cohen, Zizu, Abby Cohen, and Shweta Bindu. And Z and Shweta obviously could not keep it. You all put in very hard work to ensure that we made top 10 at the national tournaments we went to this year. I know there have been several frustrating moments together, especially with all the tough losses we have endured this season. Even this year at Nationals, there are several situations where survival in the tournament hinged upon a single question. And instead of throwing in the towel due to the immense pressure, you rose up to the occasion and kept us alive by answering that question. The team would not have achieved so much without you guys, and I sincerely hope that you have had fun playing with me this past year. I would like to thank the parents who have also supported this team. Going to tournaments requires a lot of organization beforehand, and the efforts of my parents and others allow the tournaments to run smoothly for us. Parents have also fundraised among local businesses for us. Thanks to Madame Spence, we have a modest sum that we would get from Walmart every year. Adding to that, my mom and I have reached out for support from local businesses such as Day Air Credit Union and Fresh Time. I would like, in particular, to give a special shout out to Miss Angela, the Fresh Time manager, who keeps the team fed at different competitions. We hope to continue to receive local support so we can travel out of state for more competitions. I would also like the time to especially recognize Miss Julie Cohen. While Madame Spence was out on maternity leave this year, Ms. Cohen selflessly adjusted her work schedule so that she could run practices every Monday. She also accompanied the team to every tournament during that period. Her efforts made all of our lives much easier. Now that we have gone through an overview of what the team does, the team invites the board members to partake in a quiz bowl round against us.
Okay.
I do. Okay. So the first thing that we do is we're going to have to run through a buzzer check. So we have to make sure that the buzzers work. I guess I should go to the podium. So we'll start with the...
Oh, can we have one of them on our team?
You might need more than one.
So we'll start with the academic team, please. If you'll do a buzzer check.
Well, that's not plugged in.
That's all right, leave it that way. It's plugged in.
It is plugged in.
Hey, working? I specifically said, should we do a buzzer check ahead of time? And my son said, do you not trust my...
That's interesting.
Is our extension cord working? Like, doing this?
No, this doesn't work.
Do you want to try the other one?
I tried all three of them.
No, I'm talking about,
Oh.
you said which one you think not working? Yeah, that's what I would need to do. So we can
I can just run into the queue.
yeah, we can talk.
Yeah, that works. Also doesn't work.
No, that's getting hot. We're getting power, so
I don't know why that's not working.
let's swap it up to the other side.
Well,
Where the
There's the back.
under the chair.
Yeah. Here you see a practical demonstration of the
This happens every once in a while.
Perhaps we need board funding for a new buzzer system.
All right, there we go.
It looked like it was the power.
Yay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fortunately, we have a lot of.
And now if we could start with Mr. Otten, please. Oh, Ms. Hunt doesn't get to play. Mr. Morrison, if you can check the buzzer, please. Great, okay, now I'm just going to read a couple of questions. As Hari mentioned in his remarks, as soon as you know the answer, please feel free to buzz in. And I will assure you that Madame Spence does this whenever we have the parents and kids together. Don't be surprised if they beat you. It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of unbelievable. And I will say that the kids have not seen this packet that I'm going to read to you.
Oh, good.
So, toss-up.
Feels better.
Feels so much better.
Toss-up number one. An iconoclastic response to this poem by Anthony Heck mocks that bitter allusion to the sea. This poem references a metaphor that describes the sea like the folk.
Is this Dover Beach?
It is for power. All right. Now, when you get down to your bonus, well, actually, we'll just do a couple of toss-ups. Toss-up number two. One woman of this name wrote the popular devotional Prayers or Meditations, the first book to be published by an English queen under her own name. Another woman of this name had a rivalry with Diane de Poitiers, but eventually won out after becoming regent to Charles IX. A more famous ruler of this name petitioned Poland with Frederick the Great.
Catherine.
Correct, right out of power. Number three, it is not Peru or Costa Rica, but this country's city of Punta Arenas became a penal colony after the mutiny of Cambacio. Today, this nation is a popular destination for tourists visiting Torres del Pan Fernandez National Park. Alexander Self.
Chile.
Thank you, yes. Toss-up number 4, in Fisher esterification, toluene acts as one of these substances, and salts in the liquid state are known as the future of these substances. 2 methyl groups surround a central sulfur atom in one type of these substances, known as DMSO.
Is this a solvent?
It is for power.
We build up their confidence enough.
I was going to go with 5 questions, but if you are fine with that, okay, we'll do one more question. Let's see if you guys can go.
We'll go for it.
This will be all or nothing.
Okay.
Okay. Question number 5. One of this composer's orchestral works opens with a timpani roll and harps alternating between F sharp and G sharp. Charles Cerny inspired this composer to write his book of preludes, which includes The Sunken Cathedral. Yes, for power. I'm sorry, the final score is 5-0.
Thank you guys for playing against us. We hope you see that even though you got all the questions, it's still a lot of fun, and we've been in plenty of those situations before.
Probably not a lot of them, okay.
Yes.
Now that you guys have a better picture of what football is and what we do, I would like to discuss the future of the team with the board. I am grateful to say that the school district has given us a lot of support so far, including paying for most, if not all, of our tournaments. I hope the district continues to support the team in this manner. Here in Beavercreek, there is no shortage of smart and talented kids who will be able to take the team to the next level. For this to occur, the school district needs to continue to support the team in the future. Even in these past 2 years, the fundraising money has only taken us so far. In the 2 years of major activity for the team, there have been several instances where parents have had to pitch in to cover various competition expenses, including in national competitions. I also think that we should do a lot more to promote this club. I am sure that there are a lot of underclassmen who would be interested in joining the team, but simply don't know about its existence. While the school has already done a lot to advertise the team's success, the school district can promote it further so that it attracts more talent to our program, much like our state-winning soccer team or a renowned marching band. With the support of the school district and the community at large, we can build upon what we already have, maybe even going so far as to win a national championship. I hope the district members now have a clearer picture of the context behind the academic team's achievements this year. Our efforts this year have put Beavercreek on the national football map, and with your continued support, the team will be able to capitalize on those achievements in the future and keep that flag firmly planted. Thank you.
All right, it's not a trophy, but we'd like to give you all a certificate of appreciation for all that you guys have done. So if you can come on up, I'm going to ask the board to come down. We'd like to get your picture with the board. You guys come up with your trophy. All right, I'm going to leave that there for you. That's Ed. So let's go right up here. We're going to get you guys a picture so we can get that. You're already on the front page of the website. We're going to try to get you another picture up there. Yeah, we'll get everybody in here.
Oh, leave the certificates here.
When you get up in there, we'll get the whole board in here with everybody.
Okay. I'm standing next to my third grader. How did he get to be this age? I know, he was my third
I'm sure you
grade.
taught him all the day.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Dance class.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Great job. Good job.
So I just have to ask, do you guys play that HQ game?
No, I don't.
No. Well, next time I play it, I'm going to call you and see. 'Cause I got 10 seconds to answer questions, and I'm only getting like question 8. So you guys take it.
My sister's in like 5 or 6.
I think I'm on the low setting, so. All right, well, thank you very much and congratulations. Our next presentation, we would like to recognize some individuals who were instrumental in bringing the jet here to Beavercreek City Schools. You know, one of the things when I came on board 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to go out to the airport and see the jet, and going through it, seeing what has been done to it, and kind of having a vision of what that possibly could be, and then allowing us to really delve into it. The acceptance of the jet really, in the long run, was truly a godsend for this district. It brought so much to this district. First of all, accepting the jet was monumental for the state. I think a lot of people saw it statewide. I know it was something that I saw when I was down in Fairfield. But when you look at the jet, it cost the district nothing for the time that it sat at Dayton International Airport. But what the jet did bring is the jet did bring a $984,000 grant to Greene County. We spent a lot of time going back and forth between Beavercreek and Columbus. Our whole district leadership team went there, really to try to talk to them about modifying a grant that was written to turn the jet into a classroom. Once we looked at that, we realized that it would be very costly to the district and ultimately could cost the taxpayers money. And the board was committed that we were not going to use tax dollars for the jet. So as we dug into that and worked with ODE on our grant, I can tell you that they were very intrigued by the original grant. And the more times we came up and talked about what we saw and the impact that we could have not only on Beavercreek City School students, but all students in Greene County, they agreed for us to modify that grant. So it truly is that jet has allowed us to partner with the other 6 school districts in Greene County to bring STEM education to all those students. And I can tell you that we have spent just this last school year purchasing a lot of that equipment and doing training with staff. We've been on the news quite a bit about our air camp that has been going on. We've been bringing teachers from all 7 school districts together for that. So in the long run, although the jet has a happy ending, that the board has given that jet over to the city of Dayton. They've taken ownership of that jet, and they are giving that jet to Sinclair Community College, where Sinclair is going to be able to come in and utilize that as part of their aerospace program, so their flight program. So it has a great ending, but in the long run, we would have never received the $984,000 grant for this county that we received if the board didn't have the foresight to accept the jet when they had the opportunity to do it. So it really has been a great thing for the district. One of the things I think to put the jet to rest, because we do talk about it quite a bit, and we spent a lot of time over the last year talking about it, we felt that we really needed to recognize those individuals who were instrumental in bringing it here and thank them, because I want them to understand the impact that they're having on the kids in Greene County for all the work that they did. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Mrs. Regano, because I know you have a few things you would like to say as well. Yes, I believe so. We have Natalie here. Natalie's here, great. Okay, we've got Natalie. Put this right here. From Clark State. Natalie, you're from Clark State, correct? Debbie Alberico.
Well, you know, this all started with a tweet. Debbie Alberico called me and said, "Hey, Joanne." You there?
I'm filling in
Yeah.
Ross.
It's better.
See, oh my God. It all started with a tweet. And Debbie Alberico called me and said, "Hey, Joanne, you know, have you heard about this program?" I said, "Oh, I want a jet." And my husband said, "We can't get a jet." And then I met Pete Petrini at a party. I asked him, "I'm getting a jet." He goes, "Yeah, right." Nobody believed it, so okay. So we got the jet. That's how it started. And we wrote up a proposal. had to give FedEx a proposal because they wanted to know why we wanted this jet. It was the last of their 727 jets. And at the end, we told them, you know, this is the birthplace of aviation, where else would you land this last jet? And so we went through a lot of this. Mrs. Beavercreek was instrumental in all the PR work, you know, working with FedEx, working with the airport. It was just amazing what she did. I mean, that's all I can say. Constantly there from day one. Then, you know, where were we going to land this jet? That was another interesting thing. Okay, well, the last FedEx needed to know where this jet was going to land, and we couldn't find a place. And 20 minutes before, I had to let them know. I get a call from the Dayton airport because I had spoken to Terry Slaybaugh, who was, thank you, said to me, Joanne, we're going to take the jet. And I just started crying. I'm like, really? Because I had to let FedEx know. And he said, no worries, it's what we do. We'll take care of it. So they did. Free of charge, never cost us a cent. Put a gate around that jet to protect it, locks. They were just amazing. Anytime we went out there, they were there with their crew. Whatever we needed, they were going to do. Clark State heard about it, and they called, and Joe Blondin, who's the president of Clark State, said, we want in on this. How can we help partner with you? They attended many meetings. We were trying to decide what we wanted to do. They were always there. They were trying to help get an airport scheduled for us. We tried Springfield. Springfield was going to take it, and then the Air National Guard said no, because we couldn't go there all the time to work on the jet. And so that's another long story. Anyway, and then Ross McNutt heard about it. I was at Greene County Airport. And he wanted to get involved because he wanted to make sure that the kids, there would be a program for them, and he wanted to help out. And we met with him several times. He was a great help explaining what we could do with these kids, what programs would be set up. It was amazing, so please thank him for me for sure. And then I want to talk to you about Pete Petrini and Mo Alba. I would like them to stand up. So you know, now what do I know about jets? Okay, less than 0. Okay, I know I can get on a jet to go places. And so Pete Petrini is a retired Air Force Chief Master Sergeant Maintenance Superintendent. That's what he was. And I said, I need you to take charge of this project. Okay, no problem, Joanne. And then the day after the jet landed, I get a call from Mo, and he says, you don't know me, but you know, I retired after 4 years on airline. I worked with all the airlines, AP mechanic and FCC licensed, and I would like to be part of this project. Okay, so this project was in the hands of 2 great people. Amazing. Pete and Mo got involved in this project because they believed that this was a great opportunity for kids. The Greene County Career, this project was always for kids, and the Greene County Career Center, kids came out right from the beginning to, I called it, the inside of the jet. They came out with their teacher and immediately took charge. I mean, these kids weren't there to fool around. As soon as Pete and Mo told them what needed to be done, they got their tools out and went to work. They weren't, let's run to the cockpit, let's see this. They were immediately working on this. One of the kids, well, several of the kids spoke to me. This one kid, I'll never forget, who sat down, I was almost in tears. He said, you know, I've never been on a plane ever. And I never thought I would ever get to see a plane, let alone work on one. Like, because everything I've been learning in class, I'm actually getting to do. And I'm like, that really touched my heart. I'm like, okay, it wasn't just what they learned in the book. They were actually using their skills. And so Pete and Mo were so positive and encouraging and motivating for these kids. I mean, these 2 men not only gave these kids access to hands-on work experience, but a full-blown explanation of what was going on. I mean, these kids were taken to the cockpit by Mo, and they just didn't sit down in the pilot seat. I mean, he literally took that cockpit apart and explained everything to them. I mean, I learned so much. I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, he took these kids stood out on the wings. I'm like, oh, please, do you have liability insurance? Oh, no, really? I'm like, oh, please, no, we're good. Dave Deskins, who's the super, you know, we're good for this. I'm like, okay. I mean, he took them under the belly of the plane. Did you know that the wheel well? I thought that thing was huge. Oh, no. It's not that big, but I get there, it collapses and goes up. Kids climbed up inside of it. Mom took them under things inside of the belly of that plane that I didn't even know existed. I mean, Pete, the patience, unbelievable what he would explain to these kids, his experience in the Air Force, things he had done. No question, these men just answered question after question after question with these kids. I mean, it was amazing what they did with these kids. Their patience was something you can't even imagine. I totally look at travel different myself because, I don't want to tell you this, but for those of you who travel, there's not a whole lot between you and the outside of that plane. I mean, seriously, there is the skin of the jet, and then there's some little insulation and wires, and then that's it. So yeah, I'm always thinking, you know, there's a lot to this jet. Really, when they took those walls, I'm like, this is it. So whenever I just flew back from New York, and I just say to myself, yeah, just you don't need to know what's around you, because I guess the plane can't be that heavy, because that is to take off. But that's okay, I mean, it's just, and the emergency door, I know that's not where I need to sit, because that thing weighs a ton. When they would pull that thing out, you know, they come up to say, are you willing to pull this door out? Yeah, no. Because it says 40 pounds, it's more than 40 pounds, I can just tell you that. So I just have to tell you about one little incident that happened. I'm on my way to a meeting with a friend of mine, and I get this call from FedEx, and Joanne, I said, oh, hi, how are you? She says, oh no, Joni asked me how I am. She says, the Air Force is after us. I said, what? She says, you've got to get to that jet. I said, what do you mean I've got to get to that jet? She said to me, the emergency transmitter is sending out a signal, and it means this plane has been downed. I'm like, she said, they are looking for this jet. I said, she said, you've got to get that locator out, the battery's going dead. I'm like, so I immediately called Pete. I mean, what am I going to do with this? He is at the airport immediately. He and my husband drive up there. It's a good thing the walls and ceilings are down, because there was this device. I mean, because FedEx is hysterical. And I said to Paul that night, I just want you to know you're good, because nobody's going to come after you and arrest you, because we've taken care of the problem. So that was kind of a really interesting little day. I didn't know that thing existed, but just saying. So I want to thank Pete and Mo, because you two were incredible teachers to not only these kids, but to me. Your expertise that you brought to this project was invaluable to these students. You know, I know personally that no doesn't exist in either one of your vocabularies, because any time you were asked or called, there was always, yes, I will be there, or yes, we can do this, or yes, don't worry about it. You know, there truly are not enough words to thank you both for all you did. This community is very fortunate to have people like the two of you who see that the kids are our future and are willing to help, and we're willing to help these kids see the possibilities in their future. Because some of these kids said to me after working on the jet several times, I think I'm going to look into being an airplane mechanic. So from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank both of you enough. I can't thank Clark State. I can't thank Ross Nutt. I just can't thank everybody involved in this project for helping it be such a success. And you know what, at the end it really was a success because of the grant we got and because it's still in the hands of kids that, you know, sometimes plans have a way of detouring, but this detour ended up in great hands and for a great cause. So thank you all. God bless you all. Thank you all for what you have done. I truly can't thank you enough. Pete and Mo, I don't know what else to say. Amazing. And I do have to thank my husband, even though he's probably mad at me saying this, because he was there all the time too. It's like, Charlie, what do I do? It's like, the day I got the jet, I left the house, I said to him, by the way, I'm leaving, I'm going to board me. I got the jet. He goes, what jet? I said, the jet. He goes, yeah, right. I went, see you later. And Pete was like, she got the jet. And after that, Jill said, yeah, she got the jet.
Yeah.
There was no doubt in my mind.
It's a woman thing, okay. So thank you all, really. And we have some goodies for you. Beavercreek Schools, little appreciation.
And we're going to have you come up and get you a picture with the board as well.
This won't be in the paper.
team. Yo, no, only if you talk about airplanes.
I did your son a taco with Russell.
Yes, you did, yeah, junior high, right. He just still a good guy.
Come on.
Beautiful. Thank you.
No, wait, can he stay? You can stay there if you want.
First of all, I didn't know Bo until we met the first day at the airport. Yeah, and we were going out to the airplane. And we were going out to the airplane, and he didn't know my background, I didn't know his background, but all we do was, we both had Air Force tool bags, basically, and we were ready to go to work on the airplane. However, I also want to thank Charlie and a bunch of guys I had breakfast with that are called the Road Dogs, retired old men eating out. I said, I need some help on the airplane. It was about 35 degrees outside. There was no power on the airplane. I said, bring a headlamp, bring your tools, and come, we're going to go take calls of handling off the airplane. They all showed up. So they spent the day out there. It's probably 36 degrees in the airplane because it was a little bit warmer, there was no wind. So they all did it, including Charlie. So when we went out to do the emergency locator beacon, I got to ride Charlie's Corvette. That was fun. So that was good. But one of the things I want to bring, I spent 24 years in the Air Force. And the Air Force was always supported by aircraft mechanics. And we had a lot of people in the Air Force. We have less people in the Air Force right now. And we have less people moving into the Air Force. So the Air Force used to feed the airlines with mechanics. There are many, many less mechanics coming out today. And so even the Air Force depots that repair big airplanes are now using the vocational education schools to train mechanics to directly pipeline them into the depots. So if Sinclair and the city of Dayton start a training program for fledgling aircraft mechanics, there is going to be jobs for them. Not everybody is going to go to college. A lot of people, the kids from the Career Center were just, were just outstanding. They were just wonderful. And they would make great mechanics for airplanes if they want to do that. So having the airplane, I think, is going to pay dividends down the line. Because we all learn on older airplanes. We don't learn on new airplanes. You can't afford it. So that's why having the older airplane is the wonderful thing to do. Thank you very much. And I enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, like Pete said, the A&P, mechanic is, it takes a little bit of time to, get experience, your training and everything. As I told a bunch of guys, I got 33 years experience with TWA. And I worked several departments in the airline. I worked avionics, besides the mechanics part of it and everything. But one of the things that really irritates me is that there's been so many A&P schools closed because of budgeting or whatever, they couldn't make a profit, stuff like that. Now there's a shortage. Same with like the nurses shortage because there's no schools. So one of the things you try to instill is, training and everything else. You don't have the schools, you don't have the trained personnel. And like Pete said, not everybody goes to college. And not everybody is, how do you say it, fit for college. Because there's a lot of mechanics out there. A lot of them need training, and there's none. What are you going to do? Well, thank you very much for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just one other thing.
Yeah.
I will never doubt Joanne again. 15 days after she said we're going to get a jet, I said, well, it will take them years to do a jet. We have. So, never.
Yeah, I learned that pretty quick. So. All right, great. We really appreciate all that, and I know our some of the stuff that we're doing with our kids right now with that grant is truly unbelievable. And again, that's almost $1 million that we've been able to get from the state. So, our next presentation, item C, preschool step-up quality. I'm going to ask the board, we're going to postpone that until August, I believe. August, September? August, okay. We're going to shoot for August. We would like to have the staff, the teaching staff here, members of the teaching staff here for that. And Mr. Enix, I asked Mr. Enix, I texted him real quick. Did you bring that up here, Mr. Enix? Charlie, come here for a minute. When we were doing lists, I didn't know you were in the retired old men club going on breakfast. Yeah, sounds like I needed to give you one of those for all that you did behind the scenes. So thank you, appreciate all of that. Thank you, Jason. Item D is retirement recognition. And this is very bittersweet for all of us. I think we've all known for a couple months now that Connie Little, with our student nutrition department, is retiring. I believe she's retiring in July, but I believe she will be done in June, if I'm correct about that.
August 1st is my official.
This is your official day, okay. I will tell you, Greg and I had a conversation the other day in his office, probably yesterday, I think. We were talking about Connie, and there is no Connie Little. I mean, they are interviewing today, and that's the conversation that Greg and I had. Is we both had a conversation about our first time meeting Connie, and I told him stories about my lunch meeting with Connie, and you know, when I came in as superintendent, I met with all the administrators. I took them all out to lunch to sit down just to get to know them a little bit. And when I had Connie Little on my list, I'm meeting with the student nutrition person. This will be fine. She'll be just like everybody else. And she walked in and she was not like anybody else. And she brought packets and handouts. And let me tell you what we're doing. And I was in awe of her. I think I was more amazed that this lady isn't just in there trying to plan a menu and make meals, but she wants to educate kids. I don't think there's many people that look at that role as an opportunity to bring them into her classroom, which is the kitchen. And so I'm going to miss Connie. I'm going to miss seeing her. I can tell you that Greg absolutely adores her. There are days I walk by and I see the two of them in there with their closed door, and they're in there laughing and carrying on talking. I'm like, man, he meets with Connie a lot. And it's all good. It's all good. But I can tell you that Greg is greatly going to miss her. I'm going to miss her. I think all of us will. And our kids are so truly fortunate that we've had the opportunity to have Connie Little in our district. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Greg Thompson. And there.
Miss Connie Little, if you come forward, please. Connie, when we received, you can stand right there. When we received notification of your resignation for the purpose of retirement, it certainly tugged at a lot of our heartstrings. Connie, you and I have worked together for many years, and I personally am going to miss you, miss our conversations and the work that we do together. And when the board adopts resignation for the purpose of retirement, they adopt a resolution, and I would like to read that resolution this evening, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Thompson. At the meeting of the Board of Education held June 21st, 2018, the following resolution is adopted. Whereas the Beavercreek Board of Education has received notification of the retirement of Constance Little, and whereas the board wishes to publicly recognize and commend Mrs. Constance Little, Connie, for her outstanding contribution during her 23 years of dedicated service to Beavercreek schools and community. And whereas her efforts, quality, and support rendered to the district students, staff, and administration in the performance of the school's missions has been greatly enhanced.
And whereas Mrs. Little leaves an outstanding professional and personal record, which will serve as an exemplary model for all to follow. And whereas her presence, influence, and contribution have helped to make our schools a better place. Be it resolved that the Beavercreek Board of Education and all of us who work and are part of this community do hereby accept with regret the retirement resignation of Connie Little and publicly express to you our sincere appreciation for your outstanding career in our schools. We wish you health, happiness, and a long and active, and I know it's going to be very active and contented retirement.
Thank you.
Connie, a copy of the resolution for you, a gift of recognition on behalf of the board, plaque recognizing your service, a card in there, an activity pass. Please come free of charge to any activity the schools is offering at any time. Can I have a hug?
Oh, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Connie, I'll go ahead and give you these right now. So it is with great pleasure that I'm here this evening to recognize Ms. Constance Little as she finalizes her career with Beavercreek City Schools. I'm so genuinely happy for her and glad that her family, husband Larry, son Christopher, and daughter Lauren are able to be here tonight to help recognize her. Connie is a longtime resident of Beavercreek and has spent the last 25 years working with Beavercreek City Schools. The past 8 years, she has been our student nutrition supervisor, and it's been my pleasure for the last 2 years to work directly with her. Paul's right, I do meet with her a regular amount of time, and we do enjoy. She's infectious. She loves what she does. Student nutrition is her life, and helping kids make healthy choices means something to her, and we all admire that. In the time that I've worked with her, I've witnessed and been amazed with her boundless enthusiasm and innovation. Anyone that has been around her can attest to that. It's unprecedented how I've seen her demonstrate time and again that the student is the center of our circle. She works to create student engagement, educational opportunities, and healthy choices for all of our students through various programs such as the Power of the Pumpkin, Celebrating the Cranberry, Banana Bash Week, and many more. She finds all sorts of ways to make lunchtime or breakfast interesting and exciting for our children. For our staff, I'll never forget working with her as we worked closely to set up a bake-off for our district administrative team building. We went out to Coy Middle School and set up everything. She had everything prepared, ready to bake a great team as our administrators worked together, team building, baking cakes, and having a competition. It was a screaming success, and the bar has been set high forever. Her love and dedication for the Beavercreek community and the students has always been unwavering. She has pushed herself and her staff to new levels. She gets to literally go out on top as she was selected this year as the National Student Nutrition Director of the Year and was recognized in Las Vegas for that. She's so deserving, and we're very proud of her accomplishments and thankful for the opportunity to have worked with her here at Beavercreek. With retirement, I know she already has lots of activities planned. Her book is not anywhere near finished. She is simply turning the page and starting a new chapter. I guarantee that. Connie, congratulations and a heartfelt thank you for all that you've done for student nutrition, the Beavercreek community, and Beavercreek City Schools. Thank you.
moment of thanks, and I do appreciate it. My kids, Christopher and Lauren, are proud graduates of Beavercreek High School and have done so well over the years. My husband and I are so proud of them, and it's because they had a great education here in Beavercreek. And I can remember when they were little kids, when I was fixing lunch, 2 little lunches, I never imagined I would go on and fix 7,400 lunches every day and love every bit of it. It's been an amazing opportunity to serve in Beavercreek schools, and my staff has been so instrumental in taking the vision and making it a reality for Beavercreek schools. So hopefully with what they have learned over the years from what I've tried to teach them, ways that they can be the very best, that they will provide continued excellent service to Beavercreek schools, because look what happens. I mean, we're here for you. And that's what we're all about. It's here for the students. So like I always say, and it's interesting because I have always said this for years, the student is the center of our circle and our plate, and that's what we're here for. So thank you, board, for everything. I truly appreciate it. I have enjoyed the journey. Thank you all so very much. Okay, well now you can give us the gifts back, because we're only not going to let you leave. Oh, we're going to miss you, Connie. Thank you for everything. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You are one of a kind, and I sincerely mean that. Okay. Thank you so much. I remember meeting you with Valley when I was there. That's right. You always came to see us. Unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm very grateful for it.
That concludes our presentation.
Okay. I need a motion a second to approve the agenda as presented, please.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? We'll vote.
Mr. Morrison?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Ms. Kendall?
Yes.
Ms. Regano?
Yes.
Motion carries.
There are questions or comments from the public, so.
Mr. Brown, I'm going to let them start collecting.
Okay, absolutely. I'll let them.
You guys want to talk?
So we need a motion a second to approve the minutes for May 17, 2018, regular board meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes somewhere. Yeah, it goes somewhere. Yeah, it goes. Yeah, that's fine. Moving on. Yep. So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
Ms. Arnold? Yes. Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Ms. Regano?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, items for discussion.
We have no comments from the public. Is that
No, I already said,
Already did.
I jumped
Sorry.
over that, yeah.
Minutes for board discussion, thank you.
Yep.
I'm crossing stuff off. Item A is naming of district facilities. Wanted to bring this to the board because there is some interest from a group. And you'll notice on the left side of your folder, there's an email that I had sent you earlier in the week. And then behind that is our board policy. I really just want to hit a few things on the board policy because this group is actively looking to see if the board would have interest in possibly naming a facility after an individual. The Board of Education is responsible for that. You have the authority for that action to take place. The board is the only governing body to do that. If a property is named after an individual, the following criteria, the board policy gives 2 areas that you can consider. And I would like to draw your attention to item B. The board may also name a property for an individual if the individual has made outstanding contributions to the district, community, county, state, and nation. The character of the individual must be unquestioned as determined by the board. And the board retains the final discretion and authority with respect to naming. So I know you have my email in regards to some of the finer details to it, but I wanted to bring this here because this is not something in the 2 years I've been here that we've done. But I do know that our district has done this in the past. You look at our football field, you look at our gym, the individual that is that we're discussing has accomplished an incredible amount for our district. So we would like the board to consider that, and I will follow up probably additionally an email to the board. And the reason that I'm not using the individual's name is because they would like this to be a surprise to the individual if the board is willing to do this. So that is why I'm trying to refrain from using the individual's name or the facility. So, but if you have questions after looking at the board policy, we would be looking to approve that probably within the next couple months. Any questions about that in regards to naming of the facility? Okay. Okay, item B, I was approached, I think this is something we've done traditionally. Last year, or this past year, we did a joint meeting with Beavercreek Township. We held that here in our boardroom. And Beavercreek Township would like to have that as an ongoing occurrence, and the next one would take place at their location. I believe the board has in the past held joint meetings with the city, and that has been ongoing. We did not do that last year, but the city has asked for that again for this upcoming year. And in January, we set all our dates back at our January meeting for the year. So this would be a modification of those dates and the location, so we will publicize that as we're supposed to by law. But the two changes would be our July board meeting, which would be next month. Our July board meeting would be moved to a Monday. Both of these would be moved to a Monday. It would be July 16th at 5 p.m. You'll notice that correction on your board book. And that would be with the city at City Hall. And then the township would like to utilize our September board meeting, which they would like to have it on September 10th. Again, that's a Monday. And that would be at the township trustee or the township community room, which is at fire station number 61, which is right down Orchard Lane. So I have these later in the agenda. I did run these dates by the board to make sure that everybody was okay with them. I believe everybody is okay with those dates. So we would ask the board to approve this change so that we can make the change on our website and get the notifications out, especially for our July one. Any questions about that? I anticipate these meetings to be very short. We will not be having presentations at those just because we're a guest at those, and the city has already sent an agenda for us to start looking at to see what items we would like to have jointly discussed there. So I'll be working with Pete Landrum to get that done. And that concludes items for board discussion.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to need a motion in a second to approve the May 2018 financial reports, fiscal year 18 amended certificate of estimated resources, fiscal year 19 additional appropriations, fiscal year 18 fiscal year end fund transfers and advances, Ohio Revised Code 5705.41D, purchase order certification, and May 2018 donated items.
Second.
Discussion.
As far as for the resolutions that are here, there's a couple of resolutions there that we just do in June for fiscal year end. That being the initial appropriations, we have to start the budgets for next year. That's what those are for. And then the fund-to-fund transfers and advances, so we can close all of our funds in a positive. And if we have to advance funds to them, we'll get those monies transferred back in next year when they get the funds in. And then the purchase order certification, this is annually, we put these in. If anything, invoices were paid before the purchase order was cut, and it's over $3,000, then legally we have to bring it to the board for approval. So those were all the items that were just for this meeting. And they are basically compliance issues. We are also in alignment and a little better position financially at this point in the year than we were last year. So that's a positive. And beyond that, I think we're good. And I guess I could go ahead and speak now to, in new business, we talked about the resolution to proceed for the levy in November. We had initially estimated that levy to be at 6.3 mils. When the county auditor certified that levy, it was at 6.2 mils. So this is a resolution to proceed at 6.2 mils. And I'll send it back to the Board of Elections.
Okay. Oh, please.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Ms. Regano?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're in new business, so I need a motion and a second to approve the employment, salary changes, leaves of absence, terminations, job descriptions. Approval resolution declaring intent to proceed with the election of the question of emergency tax levy. Approval of compliance summary for certification of standards governing types of food and beverages sold on school premises for the 2018-19 school year. Approval of participation in free and reduced lunch program at all schools. Participation in free and reduced breakfast program at Beavercreek High School, Ferguson Hall, and Parkwood Elementary. Approval of lunch price increase for fiscal year 19. Approval of fiscal 2019 school fee schedule. And approval of date change for the July and September board meetings.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to hit on 4 of these. First one is employment. I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Schweeder. We have a guest in our audience that we're very excited to welcome as part of our routine here.
Thank you, Mr. Otten. One of the individuals that we've asked the board to take action on employment this evening is with us tonight. I'd like to introduce him. It's Jonathan Webb. Jonathan is going to be our assistant principal at Ferguson Hall Freshman School. Jonathan comes to us from Mad River Local Schools, where he has worked with Mad River for the last 10 years, since 2007. He has been a teacher, mathematics teacher, social studies teacher, dean of students, held multiple leadership roles with Mad River Schools. Jonathan completed his bachelor's degree at Denison University here in Granville, Ohio, and his master's degree in educational leadership from the University of Dayton in 2010. He began his teaching career with the Teach for America program in Opelousas. Am I saying that right? Close enough. Close enough. High school in Louisiana in 2005, shortly after Hurricane Katrina. And then he's originally from Southwest Ohio. And after 2 years in Teach for America, decided to relocate back here to what you call home, right? That's right. And began working with Mad River Schools. We're excited to bring Jonathan on board and wanted to be able to introduce him to you this evening.
Welcome to Beavercreek.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to serve.
Thank you, Jonathan. Item B is the approval of the declaring intent to proceed with the emergency tax levy. Ms. Rucker covered that under her section. C and D are boilerplate, basically items that we need to approve moving forward. Item E, lunch price increase, just so the public understands, that is a 5-cent price increase across the board, just to cover the costs that we need in that department. And then item G is the date change that we talked about earlier. That concludes discussion from the business.
Hold on, please.
Ms. Arnold? Yes. Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
And Ms. Regano?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And we're to announcements. Well, so we know that the joint Board of Education meeting with the City of Beavercreek, next one is July 16th at 5 p.m. Professional Day, no school, August 13th. Staff Work Day, no school, August 14th. First day of class for students is August 15th. And then the joint Board of Education meeting for Township is September 10th, the time will be determined. And we're on to board member comments, and Ms. Arnold, we'll just go right around here. There we go. So,
I just love seeing what our kids manage to produce, and there have been so many of them this year. It's just amazing. I don't want to say we must be doing something right, but they sure are doing.
Fair enough. My turn.
it's your turn, Mr. Taylor.
Okay. Well, concerning the academic team, those things don't happen by accident. to achieve national level of success like that is a team effort, and that is not just the student, people who are coaching them, the support that they have from the community. It's just incredible. And of course, I had my hand on the button the whole time. Wasn't working.
My shoulders wasn't working.
Yeah,
We had to talk to them about that.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that. Concerning Connie, just the statements that she made, that she is, maybe you made as well, said that she sees her role here as not just a food service person, but as an educator. And I think that goes with everybody that's in our system from top to bottom, from the people that take care of buildings and grounds to take care of our buildings to all the administrative support staff and teachers. You know, we all play an incredible part in the education of children at one level or another. And I think that's what makes Beavercreek great. And the other thing she said was, I think I was talking to her at Fish Fry about something. I was questioning the quality of the food at the Fish Fry. She said, well, you know, just in my job, it just is, I feel an overwhelming, awesome responsibility to make safe, good food for the students and what that requires. So I'm very impressed by that as well. But she will truly be missed. And the jet recognition goes without saying. I know last night we had the Greene County Career Center board meeting, and this is always on their minds in terms of how the impact of having the jet and coordinated effort with our grant to help the kids in Greene County. So they're adding on their Take Flight initiative. They're just extremely excited about it, and especially in terms of also helping our students out with the Project Lead the Way supplements that they give us. So very exciting stuff. And you're next.
Thanks, well, happy first day of summer. It's hard to believe, really. It's hard to believe I'm talking about the first day of school. This really, as I said over and over again, and I will never stop saying it, I mean, this is an incredible school district. There's just nothing else like it. I mean, taught here for 24 years. It's just, I know personally how amazing the staff is in this district. The parents, the support from this community. That's what school districts do. I mean, really, you have support from the community. Like these people, just not the jet, but I mean, they were just willing to give everything they had because they believed in kids. And that's what's important. And that's why we are so happy that you're joining our family, because that's how we look at ourselves as a family. I think you'll come to see that. You have joined the Beavercreek family. You're now going to bleed orange and black. Just want you to know.
And go Beaver.
Yeah. So we are so happy to welcome you here. Anything we need you to help you, never hesitate to let us know. That's the truth. And thank you all. I've said this over and over, but I can never thank all of you, the administrators, our staff, for everything you do for our kids, because they always put our kids first. That's all you ever hear. How can we do this to make it better for our kids? How can we help our kids succeed? That's all you ever hear over and over again. And anything they do, whenever they're putting a program together, whatever they're looking at, from the superintendent down to the custodian, how can we make our kids' lives better? How can we make them succeed and feel good about themselves? And that's what Beavercreek is all about. So thank you, Beavercreek community. Thank you, administrators, staff, everyone, for making this the school system that it is. And have a great summer when you fly. There's not a whole lot between you and the air outside. I am just saying, there is not a whole lot there. I can't believe it, but it's true. Well, you know, when you actually see it, when you know it, but when you see it, that's a whole different story.
When you look at that little bitty window.
Yeah, I know, and what, you know, you don't want to tell yourself that. But when you actually see there's nothing there, you know, when you know something, but you don't want to admit it, but when it actually is staring in the face, it's like, yeah. So we're coming out and saying, this is good. how many times you're gonna jump across the ocean, this is good. It's gonna make it, I'm like, but there's not a whole lot on this chapter. Okay, just saying so. Have a great summer, everybody, if you're traveling, safe travels. And hopefully see you at the meeting next month. Oh, and have a great time. I know that you're leaving. You're gonna have a great time, yeah. You're going to warm climate. Enjoy. Okay. And now, I'm gonna need a motion in a second. We're gonna go into executive session. No action will be taken following the session. We're going in for court action, policy 12122, G3, I love all this, pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
And we're out. Thanks, everybody. How are you?